the back and forth, and it sounded all distorted and weird. So let's continue the show. Lauren, it's on you.
That devil is a lie. That devil is a lie. Now, okay. I know when we left off, we were talking about important plays of the game. Who's the most important player in this game, Corey? In your opinion, who do you feel like is the most important player?
The player of the game is was who they I don't know. I guess it could have been either Edelman. It could have been, they could have given it to Edelman, Michelle, Stephon Gilmore. I'm probably missing somebody on the defensive line from New England. There was so many guys rushing, man, and swarming them, man. I couldn't tell who was getting the damn sacks, man. They was on his ass like that.
Everybody was.
I guess Edelman. Edelman came up big, man. Those runs, those yards after the catch. So he definitely did his thing. Gronkowski had a big play, like we were saying before the line. Gronkowski had made a great play from that Brady pass. It was a perfect pass from Brady. It's just, I guess you could give it to Edelman. Just give it to the whole defense as a whole. The defense was amazing from the front seven to the defensive backs. Even the secondary played awesome, man. They completely shut down St. Louis. Like I was saying earlier before I forgot what I was talking about, where I was going with the point. I think New England, the defense is really underrated. We talk about how they ship a lot of people in and out, and they do start a lot of people in that. I think a lot of their offense is more expendable than, so a lot of the defensive pieces that have been there for a while, such as I'm looking like, Patrick Chung, he's been there for a while. McCourty, Dante Hightower. Is there anybody else I'm missing? A few guys. I mean, you got three guys right there. It's rare to see, three guys stay together, for that long. We're talking about as long as they've been together. It's been probably over 6 years that they've been New England defense. I'm wrong though. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because Legion of Boom, they were around for a few years, and then that eventually disbanded pretty quick. There's only one player, Bobby Wagner. Just Bobby Wagner on that remaining defense. So I think they're an underrated defense, and you see why they always rise to the occasion, and that's why they've been to the Super Bowl three or four times in a row. I think this was three, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 3 times in a row, four out of the last 5 times. I guess Edelman was a good option for the game MVP, but you could have given it to anybody, man. It was outside of really, like Brady, but that's not to take away from what Brady was doing. The St. Louis defense just played that damn amazing. St. Louis defense was on too. They've been porous throughout the season, but they actually came to play. They just couldn't stop. They couldn't make the stops when it really mattered. In the end. So
now you or you just is that a Freudian slip?
What you talking about?
You keep calling them St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. One of Charles. That's some Charles Barkley moments and shit. Yeah, the St. Louis. I still call San Diego. I still call Chargers San Diego. But yeah, LA. I still got to get used to calling them the LA Rams, man.
Yeah.
All right. We missed a phone call from one of the sports people, so we're gonna give him a call back real quick. Unfortunately, this is gonna seem unprofessional, but right now I don't know what's going on. So everybody can hear him, he'll be on my speaker. Now let's give him a call back.
Can you put him on hold when they call in? When they call in, like answer and then put him on hold.
I'm gonna have to try it when I download the app to my Mac. I don't know if I can do it on the phone.
All right.
All right, we're gonna call in Josh.
That was a good game. That was a good game, though. People tripping.
It was. I didn't feel it was a good game. It was just
Hello,
boring.
is this Josh?
This is me.
All right, Josh, you're on you're on Sports Talk with the Average Guy with your hosts Randy Anderson, Lauren, and Corey. So, what do you got for us?
I wanted to comment on the Super Bowl, really. I just thought it was, I hear a lot of the narrative seems to be that, the game wasn't that exciting, and I can understand that, especially since the whole season the Rams have been lighting up the scoreboard. But I thought it was impressive how the Patriots and Belichick's defense shut them down. I mean, I thought it was a good change of pace from the high-flying offense this season. I don't think anybody really expected it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Corey said yes, and he very much agrees with you.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I just
great change of pace.
I think it was one of the biggest plays. The turning points of that game was the. I don't know. I think it was Jason McCourty, one of the McCourty twins, made that play on Brandon Cooks when he was wide open in the end zone. I think that would have changed the entire course of the game.
I definitely do agree with you on there. Everybody agrees with you.
That was insane. He waved from across the field, and I was like, wow, that would have probably supercharged, and they may have, not been able to be put out after that.
That is very true. All right. So, what are some of the things that you disliked about the whole Super Bowl, or did you dislike anything about the Super Bowl?
I mean, are you talking
the
about
halftime show?
Outside of the football, like halftime wise.
That's what Lauren just said. Lauren just said the halftime show. I'm talking about during the football game.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was different. Like I said, I was just looking for something different. But I just was kind of shocked, honestly, how the Rams just kind of. I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to give credit to the Patriots for putting it on them, but I just felt like the Rams it was kind of shocking how they just couldn't seem to get anything done.
Yeah, agree with you. Do you guys have anything to rebuttal about that?
Nah, he's spot on. Like I said, I was shocked. No disrespect to the Patriots. No disrespect to the Patriots. I think if anything, this is probably I gotta put this up there is maybe their greatest Super Bowl because they were doubted. They were doubted. This is the only season that they were doubted all season.
No, I can't go with that one.
This was the best. Here we go. The San Francisco Raiders. It's San Francisco Raiders.
Y'all done this over and over. They've done this to New England. Oh, okay, yeah. There's probably more doubts now because Brady's 41, so you added more years on age, but they've done this year after year. Huh?
Continue.
Oh, no, it was
talking about the San Francisco Raiders.
No.
San Francisco
I'm trying to she kept Josh on. Yeah, Josh on. We was gonna get into it. I forgot what I was about to even say. No, yeah, they damn, I forgot what the hell I was about to say. I don't know. No, they did it the same when the Chiefs beat the Patriots that started that season, that Monday night game. It was about 42-14. They wrote the Patriots off that season. They started off slow. They started off slow the season. Brady was out the first 4 games of the year, and what's his name? I think it was who was it? Who was
Garoppolo.
Brissett. It sure was Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett.
And so they've counted them out, every year. And they were pretty much right on pace. They were on the same pace this year. They really were 12-4. Because like Brady said in the post game, you really can't count that Miami game. That was a fluke like a motherfucker. know why Gronkowski was even in on that play. So it was really about 12-4. They were on pace. They took a little, some hard losses, but New England always comes on at the end of the season. They always. I think the best Super Bowl by far was the Falcons, man. That was that was one of the greatest performances ever. Yeah,
I give you that one. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Would Brady put up 500 yards in that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I give you that one. I just thought that the reason I look at this one is because of the way that they won. 3 points. 3 points. So this was, think about that. I don't care what team it was. They gave up 3 points. That's saying something, man. That is saying something. But now, hey, man, all due respect to the Patriots. Now, next year, I'm gonna tell you what, they're not gonna win the Super Bowl. But all due respect to the Patriots.
I can hope. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. All right. So, we'll speak about the Rookie of the Years. The Rookie of the Year honors and MVP honors, or do you have something else?
Yes, Corey. Let's get to it, man. I gotta humble myself. I gotta take a slice of this humble pie because my man Corey did say that Saquon Barkley was going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. So, Corey, I'm gonna eat my humble pie. I got a slice over here. I ain't gonna let you watch me eat it. But I have my slice of humble pie right here. Shout out to Saquon Barkley for a fantastic season. Hey, honestly, the only reason I didn't pick Saquon Barkley is because I felt like it's a quarterback's league. Now, do I agree with it? It could go either way. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Baker Mayfield won more games. He set records as a rookie quarterback as well. But I can't argue of them picking Saquon over Baker Mayfield. If anything, it's probably because Baker was so damn obnoxious most of the season. But hats off to Saquon Barkley. He had one hell of a season. He proved a lot of the critics wrong because a lot of the critics were like, we ain't never had a Penn State running back be successful. He's gonna be a home run hitter. Or he's gonna be nothing. And he had some outstanding plays throughout the course of the year. I think the one that everybody's gonna remember is the pass that he got from Odell Beckham Jr. So he had this is a hell of a start to a career. A hell of a start to a career for Saquon. Defensive Player of the Year, the linebacker from the Colts. I think it was a no-brainer that he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. No offense to Derwin James, but as a rookie, when you lead the NFL in tackles, and your defense is playing like they are, I'm not surprised.
All right, Corey.
There you go. It's what I thought it would be. Saquon Barkley, man, he balled all year. He's a star in the making, man. Barring any injury or anything like that, I think he'll be the best running back in the NFL, taking over Zeke and who else was Zeke and Gurley? Yeah, I think Saquon can top both of them. I really think Saquon Barkley can top both of them. He's got the athletic ability, man, the strength. Lauren, you looking like I'm jumping the gun. You got that look, man. Now I think Saquon Barkley can. You don't think he can be the best running back in the NFL just off potential, looking off what he's given his first year, especially off a New York Giants team, and what he's been able to do. He's a hell of a player, man.
Nah, look, again, I'm not discrediting anybody. I just feel like you're leaving somebody out.
I'm leaving somebody out?
He talking about
Le'Veon?
Yeah, he talking about
Le'Veon Bell, man.
Le'Veon Bell?
Yeah, to me, in my opinion, you know, what I saw from Gurley at the end of this year, what I saw from Zeke, I think Zeke was overmatched. I mean, Zeke was just overmatched. He was their only, really, I ain't going to say the only offensive weapon, but it was so easy to key on him. But, yeah, I just got to see Lev Bell, man, one more time before I say that he lost his throne. He just didn't play this year, but if somebody picks him up, that will be probably the most watched NFL player, at least through the first 6 games.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I give it that one. All right, so the most valuable player award went to Patrick Mahomes with 41 votes, and Drew Brees had the other, I think it was 9 votes. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes won by a landslide, and he won another thing because he became the first player in history to win both of them. It's on Chris Sports Media.
He won AP. He won the AP Offensive Player of the Year as well.
Okay, so yeah, that's the first time that's ever been done.
Player of the Year. Yep. Shout out to Aaron Donald too, Defensive Player of the Year. Shout out to Aaron Donald. Mm-hmm. Yep. Shout out. I mean, the dude he's a physical specimen, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he can do everything, you know, from all 4 positions on the defensive line. So yeah, he's a hell of an athlete as a defensive end.
Randy, I think we went in this in the wrong order, man. You're supposed to go with MVP first. You brought in the Rookie of the Year before the MVP.
Hey.
You disrespecting your own quarterback, man. Golly.
I'm just.
We got Kansas City.
You got to rev up the engine first. You can't just go full throttle, baby. You got to rev that engine up
Yeah,
first.
no. you put the rookie first. Yeah, Rookie of the Year is the main award.
I mean, this is a sports podcast by 3 black men, so we had to talk about the black man first. Come on now.
Shit.
Mahomes, he mix. We had to talk about black men first. All right, man. Let's get into these 2 early Super Bowl predictions. Now we know that the Chiefs right now are 6-1 favorites in Vegas to win the Super Bowl next year. So let's make our 2 early Super Bowl predictions for next year. I'll go ahead and start off. I am going to say that it's going to be Kansas City against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Unbelievable.
You got? Did you see? Did you? Oh my God! All right.
Man, what are you drinking on, man?
Hey man, it's probably as nasty as humble pie had to eat.
Did you not see what they did? Did you not see what Philadelphia did? It's another quarterback controversy. They franchise tagged Nick Foles. To trade him. Nah, I don't know. Cause I was talking to some of my Philly family, and they rather keep Nick Foles and trade away Carson Wentz.
Nah, that's not happening.
And it's a bad move if they were to do something like that. It's a bad move.
Yeah, that's not happening.
In the second season that Nick Foles started, because you can have any quarterback be lightning in a bottle when nobody has film on him as a starter. But in the second season that Nick Foles started, he got benched. So I don't think that I think Nick Foles is a phenomenal backup quarterback. You know, that can come in and get you wins whenever you need them. Yep. I don't know if he's a starting quarterback, or at least it's got to be in a perfect system that suits him, which is that read option. So I mean, the Eagles are going to franchise him and then trade him. Right now they're saying he's worth a 3rd round draft pick. So you know, which a 3rd round draft pick is actually valuable. I mean, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. So you can find some value in the third round. So, they're looking at a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars or something like that may want to take that nosedive to try to get a franchise quarterback. But I'm just, like I said, it's a too early Super Bowl predictions. Like I said, I got to see what the Chiefs do on defense, see what they do in free agency or within the draft. Anything can happen. I mean, I don't know that New Orleans will be back. As prolific of a team as they have, I think that they need another playmaker on offense. I think the Kamara Ingram tandem is getting a little bit trickier. Knowing how to use both of them effectively, I would say. The Rams have a chance to come back if Cup can stay healthy. That's a three-headed monster. At the receiver position, we'll find out. Sometime in the offseason that Gurley was hurt, and they just didn't want to say nothing. There's a lot of options. I think it'll be a lot more competitive in the NFC. The AFC could be competitive too, and who knows? Antonio Brown could be gone from Pittsburgh. Lev is gone from Pittsburgh. I would be shocked if Pittsburgh paid him his money after all this that they did. He's got to be gone. You got teams like Cleveland that are on the rise. Who knows what they can do with another player on offense, something like that. So I think it's going to be competitive next year. I think it's going to be very competitive. And, of course, the Super Bowl champions will get through.
Don't forget about Chucky.
The San Francisco Raiders, my bad. Okay, yeah. The San Francisco Raiders next year, they got, is it three first-round draft picks? Is that right? 3 next year?
Is it 4, I think.
I know they got like 5.
No,
3, I think.
I think they got 2 plus their own for next year.
Right.
2 plus their own for next year, and then the following year they have 2 more.
Yeah.
So, who knows? I won't never say never, man. I won't never say never. I'll wait for them to get to Vegas though before I'm gonna put them in the conversation. They got to get to Vegas first.
All right, Corey, your predictions. And Marshawn Lynch won't let that happen.
I don't do before the season predictions. So if I had to, I'd just say New England and the Rams again because they the winners right now.
Okay.
They keep them squads together. Let's see what these teams are doing in the off season.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on in the off season.
Randall.
Oh, whoa, no. We not starting that. We can't have people calling me that name. No. Oh, but yeah. But yeah. If Kansas City, all right, Kansas City, listen to me right now. All right. So we're gonna take a little page out of the Bill Belichick Tom Brady model, right? We're not gonna pay Patrick Mahomes that $200 million. We'll pay him. We'll give him a smooth like 160. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. Use the rest of that money for the offensive line. Get Eric Fisher the fuck out of there. Work on our defense. We do that, we'll have a dynasty, and it'll be Kansas City next year versus what it should have been this year, the Saints. Cause Drew Brees is gonna have red eyes next year. He want that comeback, and I know it.
Drew Brees is about 42. He about 42 next year, man. And that arm ain't getting any stronger.
As long
they got to get more weapons. They got to get more weapons.
True.
Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara is not good enough to take them back.
And these teams are gonna come ready. Keep in mind, every team that won their division this year, Kansas City included. Y'all don't know how the NFL. If y'all don't know how the NFL schedule works, your schedule gets harder. So teams are gonna have harder teams, and the teams are gonna be ready for it. Not to say they won't be able to. Teams like the Saints and the Chiefs won't be able to perform, at a elite level, but it'll be tougher. Don't be surprised if, from either one of those 10-6, 11-5 season, and it's not for the lack of, talent or anything. It's just, like I said, from year to year, it gets tougher. And like I said, and it's not even necessarily just the strength of schedule, because the schedule gets harder. You're playing, the teams are ready for you. They're expecting you every week now. You're on the radar. Kansas City's going to definitely be on everybody's radar. Patrick Mahomes is looked at, first of all, he's the MVP, and he's looked at as the future of this league, the heir to Tom Brady's throne. And Drew Brees, it's another year on him. There's another year on him. He's getting older. Like I said, that arm's not getting any stronger. They got to get some more weapons with him down there in New Orleans, but it's still not guaranteed for New Orleans.
Yeah. All right. So, y'all ready to move over to the NBA real quick? Oh, I think Lawrence froze. All right. So we'll move over to the NBA. All right, and like I was speaking about last Thursday, not the Kyrie Irving, but he will be coming up pretty soon. The Knicks and the Mavericks make a trade for Kristaps Porzingis, and the people that went over there in the trade were DeAndre Jordan, Dennis Smith Jr., and who was it? Hold on, y'all. I gotta pull it up. All right. Dennis Smith Jr. and Wesley Matthews went to the Knicks, and the draft pick went to the Knicks. And the Mavericks received Kristaps Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Courtney Lee. And like I said before, I believe the Mavericks, I think, got the best end of the deal. And it looks like Kristaps Porzingis will be playing this year for the Mavericks, because he's already been suited up and playing around full contact play in in their gym. So, what is you guys' thoughts on this trade?
Why you think the Mavericks won the deal?
For this year, they got the better player. They literally got both of the Knicks' best players. They got Tim Hardaway Jr., which was good, and Kristaps Porzingis, which he could be good, but I'm not gonna put injury on somebody like some of these analysts do, because they're talking about the Knicks might know something that we don't know, and that Kristaps might be injured.
Oh, what have I been telling you? You need the analysts. I was telling everybody, but I've been telling everybody for months before these analysts said this. Kristaps Porzingis is gonna have a short career. He's 7'3". Look at his style of play. That's tedious on his bones, muscles, everything. He's fragile. He's gonna break. This is a bad long-term move for the Dallas Mavericks. And you think of short term, just off of this year, it's not guaranteed that it'll work out then. There's still kind of a ways down, which isn't much, as far as the Western Conference. They some games behind, not a lot, but it's not even guaranteed, to make the playoffs this year. But he's second. You don't want to wish that on him. But like I said, he's lanky. 7'3". You got to put more muscle on or something. And like I said, even with that, he's got to change his style of play. It'll be especially bad on his legs. The Knicks got a great deal. They freed up cap space. I don't know if they're going to keep Jordan or not. I don't know if they'll keep Jordan. Dennis Smith is a real nice pickup.
Somebody
because he's improved.
I was gonna say somebody they wanted to pick up during their draft when they got Frank Nicolatina, whatever you say his name.
Yeah, Nicolatina. Yeah, yeah. Dennis Smith is a great pickup. He's improved from last year. His numbers aren't the same, but that's because his touches had dropped. Because Luka Doncic he's basically controlling the ball on off, when that was what Dennis Smith they were breeding him to do last year, but they came up on Doncic, so he's become that star player, and course, they were struggling to get them to, meld them together. It would have been nice to see them find a way, Carlisle, to work that out. But I guess they couldn't, so they went with Porzingis. They have, and it'll be good for them because Hardaway Jr. That's a good pickup, and like I said, as long as Porzingis can stay healthy, he may have to start playing more under the basket because trying to drive and all that. Like I said, it's just a disaster waiting to happen. But if he can stay healthy, as long as he can, they got some firepower with Harrison Barnes, Doncic running point. Doncic, the next big thing, next great white hope, man. Then Hardaway running wing. That's a great shooting guard, right? Not great, but a good shooting guard. So that's a good deal. But like I said, it's that that injury bug. Might pop up. Who else they got in there? They got what? Courtney Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Courtney Lee. I mean, Courtney Lee at this point in his career. He's Courtney Lee.
He can hit you them threes. Oh, I think he froze. All right, Lauren.
Knicks, like I said, Wes Matthews is a decent player. DeAndre Jordan, if they decide to keep them, it's kind of slacked off as far as defense this year, but DeAndre Jordan can turn it on. I think that's especially in the Eastern Conference. I think it's a good pickup for New York. They can pick up somebody. Can't think of nobody off the top of my head. Kyrie's been in talks going to New York after this season.
We'll talk about it.
I don't know how that'll work with Dennis Smith though, because Dennis Smith wants to be the guy. So I don't know how that's gonna work. No telling who New York gets. You got Durant, free agent too. Durant will be a free agent. They trying to shoot for him. Though I think that's highly unlikely. So it'll be interesting, but I think it's a good move for. I think New York won this trade as far as long term. I don't think it's going. I don't think it's gonna work out. And did they get? Let's see what else. The Mavericks got. Okay, so did the Mavericks get?
The Mavericks gave up a first-round pick.
The Mavericks gave up a first-round pick. Yeah. New York got this. Yeah, long term. Yeah, New York won this.
Don't know what date, what year it'll be, but they got a first-round pick. All right, Lauren, you up next.
Two first-round picks.
Yeah. I think that hands down the Knicks won this trade, and I think the biggest piece for me was the salary dump, basically. To free up enough money to sign two max players in the offseason. Now, would they be able to do that? Who knows? I think right now the Knicks kind of, I won't say as bad, but they kind of have the Lakers syndrome where even though it's a destination location from a marketing standpoint, from a PR standpoint, I don't know if everybody kind of wants to run to New York right now, but, DeAndre Jordan, I think a lot of him staying is dependent on who they attempt to go after because, you got to think, with a player like Kevin Durant or something like that, or even a Kyrie, it would be great to have DeAndre Jordan just as a rim protector. Wesley Matthews, I think that was kind of a swap for swap as far as Tim Hardaway's concerned. And then those draft picks, they already have one of their own. And then they get Dallas's. I think the second one is protected, but for all intents and purposes, they're going to get both of them. In the grand scheme of things, I don't feel like Dallas got anything out of this trade. You got potential, but you gave up a lot to get it, and I don't know what the fit's going to be with the unicorn and Donich. Who knows what that fit will even look like. Was it Scott Mills, the GM for the Knicks? This was a hell of a trade he pulled off. This was one hell of a trade that he pulled off. So, great first move
as a GM, dumping salary, moving on from a player that didn't want to play for the Knicks. I mean, he came out and said it straight out. I don't trust this team. What did he say? Stay woke, New York fans. So, I mean, it was obvious Porzingis didn't want to be there anyway. So you got to, if a player doesn't want to play for you, got to get him out of there. And to get 2 first-round draft picks for Porzingis, 2 first-round draft picks for Porzingis. This is why the Pelicans are asking LA for so much, because they like, hell, Dallas just gave up 2 first-round draft picks to get Porzingis. You trying to get Davis, and you only trying to give up 1. So, yeah, I think head and shoulders the Knicks won this trade. Head and shoulders. Now, what they are able to do with it, who knows? Who knows what they're able to do with it? But I mean, hell, if they don't want DeAndre Jordan, if they don't want Wesley Matthews, they're both on expiring contracts, so they can just say, all right, we'll just buy you out, let you go play wherever you want to go play. The interesting piece, though, is Dennis Smith Jr. because I kind of feel like he may get stuck in that trade machine, because if they go after Kyrie, it kind of makes him somewhat expendable in a lot of ways. I don't know if he is willing to play as a backup, or if they're going to try to play both of them in the backcourt if they were able to get Kyrie. So I think that's an interesting piece, because like Corey alluded to earlier, he didn't really get as much of an opportunity probably as they should, with Doncic coming in and just balling out like he did. So hopefully he finds a good fit. He's still young. This is just his second year in the league, so he's got a lot of upside. And I mean, on the right team, who knows? Who knows? He could be an outstanding piece to a team.
Yeah. All right. I just want to first to say you guys are very much correct. But what was it? It was about last year, a little bit before this time. I said that no, yeah, it was around this time, around this time in February. I said that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, they were most likely to land in the next couple of years in New York, because New York has been hunting for the both of them. And now that pretty much that they've been tanking, yeah, because that's what they're doing. Everybody, they're tanking. They're going to get Zion Williams. He will most likely be the number 1 draft pick that everybody's going for. And well, what I was going to say. All right, yeah. So Kevin Durant.
That's a mistake.
We'll get to that in a second. Kevin Durant. What New York is doing. New York is going to try to do the same thing that they did with Kawhi Leonard in Toronto. So to get Kawhi to stay, they gave positions of power to a couple of Kawhi Leonard's people in the league, or not the league, or in their franchise. So they gave a couple people from Kawhi Leonard's group or whatever some power in in Toronto, and the Knicks are talking about giving, I think it's not his agent, but somebody that's involved with Kevin Durant, a position of power. I think a front office position in New York, if he was assigned to New York. So that's possible. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it's definitely possible. Kyrie Irving's always wanted to play for New York. You know what I'm saying? Because that is his home, New York. What else? It was something else I wanted to say. And fuck Chicago. Chicago, y'all pissing me off, dog. I'll be honest with y'all. I love my Bulls to death, but fuck y'all, because y'all talking about trading away Zach LaVine. Stupid. But yeah, what was you saying about Zion Williamson, Lauren?
I said it's a mistake. I think that JT Barrett has more upside in the NBA than Zion Williams does.
He's coming to Chicago, baby. He's coming to Chicago.
Chicago is not a destination city. You have to understand this. Chicago was an okay team before Michael Jordan came. They just happened they just happened to fall in their lap that they got Michael Jordan, who nobody knew was gonna be as great as he was when he came out of college. That just fell in their lap, man. But other than that, Chicago always been Chicago, you know. So Chicago, if they want to rebuild, they will definitely have to rebuild through the draft, and it'll be a process because ain't nobody coming to Chicago, man.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But they are tanking. They will get that number 2 draft pick.
And Kyrie and Kevin Durant.
It's not guaranteed in basketball. It's lottery. It's not like football where you can just get that seed from having a certain record. So it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
If you Cleveland,
yeah, no,
I believe that shit is rigged. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
No way you get first round draft picks fucking 8 times every year. You said it again?
I believe it. I believe that's a viable that's a viable opinion. I think that's something. I think it might be rigged too. Shoot, you saw what those 4 years LeBron was gone. Cleveland got the first pick. 3 out of those 4 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2 of them will bust. Well,
and still sucked.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, where do you think Anthony Davis will land? It was. I want to tell you guys. It was something earlier today that the Lakers offered Ball, Ingram, Kuzma, Rondo,
the whole damn
Stevenson. Yeah, in a first round draft pick. I think it was a first round draft pick for AD.
2 first round draft picks.
All right, you're right. Yeah, 2 first round draft picks.
Don't forget Beasley too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Beasley was in it?
He gonna bring the chronic.
They literally offered the whole entire team for Anthony Davis. I think that's foolish. You know, get a couple players, some first round picks, but giving you just gave up the whole your whole core, everything you drafted over the past couple years.
But they kept your boy though.
Huh?
Your boy wasn't in that trade
though. Zubac, they sure did keep Zubac. Man, who's gonna fill those spots? You going with LeBron and AD? I mean, that's a hell of a duo.
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart, but Josh Hart is a good starter. Josh Hart is a really, really good starter, but he's not a star. He's not going to be a star, or anything like that.
You don't need that.
Yeah, you do need some. You need some more. Because look what Davis hasn't won.
Gonna get last week.
Davis hasn't won. They got 3 20-point scorers on the Pelicans. So it takes more than just. It's not just throw Anthony. They think it's just throwing Anthony Davis on the squad and all the. Everything's gonna be cured. It's like, nah, you got to have some stuff around it.
I agree, but I think that. Do you disagree that they shouldn't go all in on Anthony Davis?
Yeah, they should go all in.
So they
should go all in, but don't
do it.
But don't give up. But you got to have a team left to finish the season. Now, you just give it up. You give that. They Los Angeles Lakers. They named about 7 players in this trade.
They can go get Carmelo. He can play shooting guard.
Thank you. I told y'all last week. Carmelo's gonna be there. J.R. Smith's gonna be there. A bunch of other players that. What is his name? That's been on every team LeBron's been on. Not Joe Johnson. John Jones. All John's homies. J.R. R.J. Jeffrey, whatever the fuck his name is.
He retired.
Richard Jefferson.
Yeah, Richard Jefferson. My bad.
Yeah.
He retired too.
Hey,
But Dwayne Wade, try to
Dwayne
get one
Wade.
more year get one more year out of D Wade. Put a pacemaker on Chris Bosh. That's not funny. Uh, um,
I ain't
see
shit.
what you can get at these guys. Nah, man. They giving up though. That's the whole entire team, man. I don't think that's a smart idea. They gotta see if they can develop a couple of those young guys. I don't think they should give up Lonzo. Keep Lance. Um, I don't have a problem with them getting rid of Ingram and Kuzma because you got to give up something. You got to give up something valuable to get
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis. I think Ingram Kuzma, throw the weed carrier in there, and two first round picks, man. And I think that's enough to get AD right there. But it's about what the Pelicans want to agree to, and they may be trying to go all in to get they want something back.
Mm-hmm. They want something big back. And let's just be clear: LeBron James is clearing house like he's always done at every team that he was on, and he's making sure he's getting rid of all the light skins on that team because he's saying
to
these light
get
skinned niggas can't play
another
ball.
one. To get another one. Anthony Davis, light skin too.
One that can play ball.
Uh,
Nah, man, I think that unfortunately, I'm gonna say unfortunately because it would be hard for me as somebody in Lakers organization not to attempt to play hardball. Uh, uh, it would be hard for me to give up everything I built to get one player when potentially, and I'm just saying potentially, maybe you don't have to give up any of those pieces. Maybe you don't get AD, but maybe you get a Klay Thompson or
right.
somebody like that that can just fill your team out. Uh, it would be really hard for me as the Lakers to give up those pieces. If I'm the Lakers, uh, I'm sitting tight, and I know that as much as here's one thing I'm gonna say about Anthony Davis that I think a lot of people forget about is Anthony Davis is has a tendency to be a little injury prone. He has a
True.
tendency to be a little injury prone. He's missed quite a few games over the course of his career. I'm not gonna say because I don't think he's ever missed a season or anything like that, but he's missed quite a few games due to injury and things of that nature. Uh, Not to say you shouldn't get him because I mean the guy is gifted, he's talented, but I just couldn't mortgage the farm to get him. I just couldn't do it, man. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, who knows? Maybe they can, like I said, pick up a Klay Thompson or somebody like that. Maybe they can use their draft pick wisely, to continue to build through the draft. I mean, you just never know what you're going to get that can make your team complete. I mean, who the hell would have thought that Draymond Green would have completed the Warriors?
Oh, he gone next year.
Who
I
would have
mean, he
thought?
gone, but yeah.
Who would have thought? So I mean, sometimes it's just about getting the right player on your team, and I just wouldn't give up the farm for AD. I'd go ahead and take the risk of him going into free agency. I mean, the the it's a tricky situation because the Pelicans want to sit tight, but do you really want Anthony Davis sitting on your bench as a distraction for the rest of the year?
Mm-hmm.
As another team, do you want to buy him as a lease? Because he doesn't seem like the type of player that, we're going to bring him in and then we're going to make him feel good. He doesn't seem like that type of player. He seems to, for the most part, have his mind relatively made up. He doesn't want to go to Boston. Uh, you know, I know he mentioned New York as a destination location, which would be interesting to say the least. The Clippers was another destination location that I heard he's opened up, but Boston wasn't included in that. So, I mean, everybody can kind of play the stalemate game right now. I think ultimately, uh, the Pelicans may want to be careful about how picky they get because if you think about it, they could end up with nothing. They could end up with nothing, which would be even worse. So, if I'm the Lakers, I'm sitting pat. I'm not mortgaging the farm for Anthony Davis. I'm not.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you guys to go ahead, all you LA fans, get ready to mortgage the farm, because Anthony Davis is coming to LA and y'all losing all y'all young pieces. But all right, so we alluded to Klay Thompson. So who else do you think could be on the move? And let's start with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson will not be moving from Golden State. Kevin Durant and Draymond Green will be gone next year. Like, let me just put my little, let me put my little hat on. You know what I'm saying? My little voodoo hat. Yeah, Kevin Durant's gone to New York. He's not going to Washington. That's out of here. So KD's going to New York. Draymond Green, I don't know where he's going, but he will not be in Golden State next year because they got Boogie Cousins, and Boogie Cousins is going to stay in Golden State. Honestly. But yeah, Klay Thompson will get the Supermax, and that'll be it. So what is you guys' thoughts on that? I see Lauren nodding his head.
I wouldn't give Klay Thompson a Supermax. I'd pay him, but I wouldn't give him a Supermax. I wouldn't. I don't know that I would hang on the boogie at the expense of Draymond Green. And the reason I say that is because Draymond Green is willing to do the dirty work and the intangibles. I don't think that Boogie Cousins is that type of player. So, you know, it would be kind of hard. I mean, if you think Durant's gone, which, you know, he very likely could be, you can kind of see how you can restructure some contracts. But yeah, I'm looking at more of your Bradley Beal's going. I think Bradley Beal is gone from Washington. He'll go to another team, whether it's, you know, a team like LA, or maybe he goes to a team like Miami where, you know, he can be more of a focal point on the team. The Clippers, that may be a spot for him. I'm interested to see where DeAndre Jordan goes. I really, really am, because I still think he has an opportunity to be a defensive anchor for somebody. Block shots, crash boards, play help defense. I think that he can still offer something to a team. I think that would be interesting.
Don't forget Gasol and Conley.
Yeah. I think. See, that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, the Lakers. I mean, what a great pickup it would be to get to be able to get like a Conley on your team. You know, a guy that's not looking for the shine, another guy willing to do the dirty work.
I think they're on their way out.
Memphis. The Memphis show is over.
It's over. It's over. You know, Zach, Randolph, and all these guys. Yep. It's over. So yeah, I think they're definitely on their way out. Yeah. What about Lillard and McCollum? One of those guys?
I'm gonna say no.
You know, Damian Lillard is an interesting one because he really does actually seem to love Portland. So he's an interesting one. CJ McCollum, I could see him going. Don't know where he would go, but I mean, he would be a good piece for another team. But I think the biggest piece for me is Kawhi. I'm not so that Kawhi is staying in Toronto at all.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sold on it, man. I think that he may have eyes for the Clippers. I'm not sold on him staying in Toronto at all. I mean, playing very well. Toronto's playing very well. He definitely's come right in and fit in and things of that nature, but I'm not sold on that yet. I need to know that he re-signed, but I think he may go to the Clippers.
Okay.
Remember he got $190 million coming this year if he stays.
Yeah, but he's
Look at what he's got working with. You know, if you can get Ibaka going playing at a high level for at least 2 years. Lowry's a good point guard, great point guard. Um, uh, Siakam, Pascal Siakam. Got the then you got the bench, of course, OG, Newbie, Fred VanVleet, and all those guys. Hell, man, and then like I said, no team can match up. I think the most any other team can offer is about 140, 150 million or so. So Toronto has a high advantage. It would just be about basically just the location for them. Yeah.
True. So y'all don't have no more other trade places or people that could be traded.
not any market.
Anybody else would be traded. Nah, can't think of nobody. Can't think of nobody off top. They might. Don't forget. Vuvicic in Orlando. They may come a point to where he may want to play for a contender eventually. So that's a sleeper. Nobody's really even thinking about. I don't know what his contract looking like, but there's not much going on in Orlando. It seems to be just they seem to just be spinning their wheels down there. So yeah, you can put Vuvicic, throw him in there. Aaron Gordon. Anybody, all those guys, it's a possibility. Look at some of, looking at the contenders. I think that'll come more, they'll look more toward free agency to, boost their rosters up. But yeah, no telling. The lower teams, and I think, a guy like, Orlando, guys on their squad that, could be looking to go somewhere else.
All right, and the trade deadline is this Thursday. So NBA teams out there, if you're listening, make the moves now. All right, so this Inf's take has been a part of the show for many, like a year or so, but it has not been used. So, Mr. Gilmore, it's Inf's takes time. What you got for us?
What's the question?
You said you was gonna have it. Inf's take. I thought you said you was gonna have it. I didn't get it with the what's the name? Was it something you sent me?
Let me pull up the question.
So the question is what LeBron James is doing in LA collusion, or is this a new player power shift in the NBA?
What the hell you?
LeBron James doing collusion or the player power? I think it's a little bit I think this is player power. Now LeBron James has been, known for collusion, more in the past, but you see the Pelicans aren't just, it's player power, because I believe they should have the ability to, talk to each other, talk to their friends. I mean, it happens all the time. They worked out a deal. They were trying to get Rodman. Well, I don't think it was necessarily during the season, but it's always going to get planned before the joint forces. When Jordan got Rodman, to help put the Bulls over the edge, in the mid '90s. Golden State, they were talking to Durant, basically, I think they were having a conversation basically in that Game 7 after they beat OKC. Looked like they were having a conversation then, but they were friends. Ain't no telling what type of conversations they had. You had LeBron back in 2010, back in 2010 with Bosh. And, so I think, I don't see a problem with, having those conversations. And I know it was, it brought some, questions because, Anthony Davis and everything, he's with the he's with Rich Paul and them with Clutch Sports, which is basically LeBron's company. So it kind of creates kind of that conflict of interest, but I ain't got a problem with it. But yeah, I think it's more of the player power. You just having the ability, to communicate with each other and, hey, come play for me. We can join forces, take out the super team. But yeah, I won't say collusion. There's been collusion in the past. And you have, hell, when you can, just the fact that they were able to trade Richard Jefferson. He's always able to get his boy James Jones on the squad and got him a nice position out there in Phoenix. Got him a front office position. He traded away to hold. He got everybody he wanted on the Cleveland Cavaliers after Kyrie left, and then when that wasn't working, he traded that team for a whole entire new team. LeBron's always got his way. I'm pretty sure there's another transaction that we're forgetting, and then we just mentioned earlier how Cleveland got the first pick 3 out of 4 years while he left. So they were building that team while he took a quick vacation away from the squad and went to South Beach. So it's been. LeBron is collusion. His last name is collusion, but this year is just more player power. I think the league knows that they can survive without LeBron James now because you're getting a lot of more star power. Just all across the league from Antetokounmpo, Oladipo. I'm naming Eastern teams. I mean, hell, you got a resurgence in the East. Embiid and the guys. The Nets are playing well. Hopefully they can stay consistent. They got some real good players. Boston, of course, and then you got the Western Conference, Curry and Harden and everything. You got talent all through the league, so the league can survive without LeBron. And yeah, they didn't pull that trigger. They didn't. New Orleans wasn't gonna just let them do anything. They asking for the whole team, so they making it hard for LeBron this season. So, I won't say it's collusion. It's not collusion, just player power. Which LeBron is helping. He's a big cog in helping revolutionize because NBA was more guys sticking to the city that they in and holding loyalty to that city, but LeBron, he's making it all business, and hey, he's gonna go wherever he feels like he wants to go to. I mean, hell, LeBron James is playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, man. Whoever would have thought that? Had 2 stints in Cleveland. You never thought you'd see him in the Cavs uniform again. It's just always been a surprise. You never know what LeBron's got going next. Now he's trying to play. He wants to be able to play as long as he can so he can play at least 1 year with his son. And I'm pretty sure the league will work out something. He'll have his refs in there to make some calls for him to keep him relevant for about 4 or 5 more years until little Bronny gets up in there. So. Not this year. Not this year, but LeBron will get some. Just pause. Y'all done?
Oh, I was waiting on you. I didn't know if you was continuing.
No.
All right, so
Let's do it now.
That was Imp's take. We have had Imp's take in a minute. Hopefully we can continue to have it. And that question was not on my sheet. I'm just gonna let y'all know that right now. But yeah. So this was another episode of Sports Talk with the Average Guy. Make sure if you want to keep up with us on Facebook, The Average Guy Podcast, YouTube, The Average Guy Studios, every Monday, 9:00. Yeah. And also thanks to Josh for calling in and giving us his thoughts on the Trash Bowl. But yeah. What I need you guys to do in the link in the description below, it'll be all the links for Grit Sports Media. Corey, take it over and let them know what Grit Sports Media is all about.
Get some sports. Come see the sports. Everything sports. I don't know how to, make that sound. It's sports. Sports is a game. Come see about some damn sports. Water cooler. So it help you with your water cooler talk at work. It's about the best thing sports can do for you. Or you can learn something, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you want to, help your child. You got a young kid, you want to be a star, come to Grit Sports Media. You may get some inspiration there or something. Log in. It's the independent media. Independent media looks professional. I talk country as hell, but my damn penmanship is off the damn chain. So hey, come check me out. I make a lot of different posts and little stories on what's going on around sports. We're gonna have a lot more emphasis on boxing. Boxing this year. There's a lot of great matches, so we're gonna keep tabs on what's going on, in the boxing world this year. So yeah, just stay tapped in.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna have to make sure we get that trademarked Grit Sports Media. I sound country, my penmanship is on point. But Lojo Speaks, man. Lauren, let him know what it's Lojo Speaks is all about.
Hey, Lojo Speaks is an interactive network, all things fatherhood. We bringing fathers back into the forefront, making sure they understand the importance of their role in their families and the communities that they serve. So check it out on Facebook, lojospeaks.com, coming soon. Stay tuned.
Yeah, man. All of those are links in the description below. And with all that being said, man, this has been another episode of Sports Talk with the Average Guy. Tuesdays and Thursdays, the Average Guy podcast. Facebook, YouTube. I was about to say Twitter. We don't got a Twitter just yet. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, and all the other platforms. Soon, hopefully, to be on Instagram Live. But I don't know if they're going to do this just yet. So let me just leave that off in the air. On that note, man, see you guys next Monday with Sports Talk with the Average Guy. And we are out. Peace.